strong 7.3 magnitude earthquake today in Bangkok. And everybody's in bed hiding. And we're up on the 40th floor. So we felt it a lot. It was swaying a lot. All the alarms going off everywhere. There's smoke over there in Lat Pral, but we're up on the 40th floor and we were swaying for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes. Nothing fell down, nothing got broken in our building. We had a couple of new cracks in the wall, which was kind of alarming. But I happened to look out the window to the north towards Lat Pral and Jatajuk when this building under construction actually fell down, and I saw the huge plume of smoke coming up. I didn't video it. I didn't have my phone with me. Looked like a fire, but I could see the smoke billowing up, so I knew something had collapsed. My son was with me, who's 8 years old, Gio. He asked me, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, maybe a fire started," but I knew looking at it that a building had collapsed, and of course, that's exactly what it was. There's going to be a lot of casualties, a lot of people being dragged out of there, if they can even drag the bodies out. They estimate 40-something people maybe under the rubble, construction workers, most of whom are migrants coming to Bangkok to work from Myanmar, where this earthquake happened. There's probably more deaths in Myanmar. What I wanted to talk about is it hit 1:30 in the afternoon. It disrupted our entire day. I mean, it ended our whole day, basically. There was no damage that we can see to our building. They evacuated the building, but we didn't leave, and we were on the 40th floor. I'm not about to walk down 40 flights of stairs, when the building appears to be standing. There were a couple of aftershocks that were, 20 seconds long, 30 seconds long that got the building swaying again. But I mean, we felt it. We felt seasick. We were, after it stopped moving, the first, the big one that lasted a couple minutes, we could see things stop swinging and it had stopped moving, but we still felt like we were moving, like we were seasick. So we're all still feeling a little bit seasick. It's like 7:30 or it's 8:30 at night now, so it's 7 hours later. Nothing's moving, but we still feel like it is. I mean, we're way up high, 40th floor, so it still feels like the building's moving. It's a weird feeling. I've been through a lot of earthquakes in LA and in Tokyo, over a dozen. So this was kind of par for the course. It was a little bit longer duration than some of the ones I've been in. I was in the North Ridge earthquake in 1994 in LA when, Santa Monica Freeway collapsed and people died in North Ridge. And, it lasted a minute or so, minute and a half, and then, I went back to sleep. Same thing, same thing, but it disrupted our whole day today. We didn't do anything else after that. It's Friday night, Friday afternoon, so Bangkok shut down, everything's evacuated, all the malls are closed, the SkyTrain and the subway is shut down. The traffic is incredible for Friday rush hour, people trying to get out of Bangkok and go back to the suburbs, go back home. You see, the point is it just shuts down the whole city, shuts down your whole life, and you see how fragile we really are because, a minute and a half, 2 minutes of an earthquake, it's going to affect a lot of families who lost people in that building collapse, and it's going to affect a lot of people in Myanmar, but it's affecting the whole city. However many people live here, 10 or 15 million people commute in and live in Bangkok and commute in here every day. Everybody's affected by it. It's, we're in this pole shift that's going on Earth right now.
We're going to discuss the shift of the North Magnetic Pole into the Gokul supervolcano system, one of the largest supervolcanoes that exist on Earth. As many of you know, the North Magnetic Pole has been moving and quite rapidly since the 1990s, and so now it is just at the edge of the Gokul supervolcano system, and based on its current velocity, which is about 40 kilometers per year, it will reach the other edge of the supervolcano system in about 25 to 30 years.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in the world. Obviously, there's a lot of change happening. And, I've been having kind of premonitions about this. I had a small premonition yesterday that we were going to have an earthquake. I didn't know it was today, but I did have it. It registered. I mean, I looked at a crack that we have in our wall in my closet when I was getting dressed last night. And I said, that's from the last earthquake, and we're going to have another one. I didn't know it was going to be today, with 12 hours later, but it was. I get a lot of those premonitions. You got to follow your intuition. You got to be awake. You got to be alert. A lot of people were panicking. The building was going nuts and telling us we got to get out and evacuate. And I said, screw that. There's no point. The building's fine. We're safe. The power went out for about half an hour. And, we didn't have air conditioning and electricity, so we just chilled out. Everybody chilled. We were all hanging out in my room. All the kids were on the bed with me. And Peach, my wife, was downstairs, so she had to climb up 40 flights of stairs. I told her to wait, that the elevators would come back on, and of course they did in a few minutes. So you gotta prepare yourselves. We got plenty of food and water and candles and flashlights. We've got, we're ready for a long-term power outage. We're ready for a big disruption in our lives this year, which I think there's going to be a lot of them this year. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. There's a lot of weird power changes going on in governments all over the world. There's this, release of all this information. People are going to be freaking out. There's a lot going on. So keep your wits about you. Keep your head. Don't panic. Stay poised. Stay composed when but everyone else is panicking around you. Stay calm. And get prepared. Have a preparation kit, an emergency kit. Keep your family close. Love each other. That's all I can tell you. We're in Bangkok. We're fine. We're good. I feel for the people who are going to have loved ones under that rubble pile today. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that a building they're building could collapse like that. And I'm sure Thailand's going to go into all the building safety, and that thing was like, I don't know how many floors, 50, 60 floors already completed, and it just collapsed like that. That's ridiculous. I mean, the 50 people that were in there working on it, I am so sorry for them. What about the 5,000 people that could have been in there? It's an office building for the Thai government. It's an audit office or something. What about the 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 people that could have been working in there after it was finished, and it collapses that easily? And I don't know, maybe the outer shell is part of the structure, something like that. But come on, the core column should have held that building up. It's absolutely unacceptable. And I wonder how that's going to affect Thailand and tourism here. People are going to start leaving, and then when's the next lockdown and so-called virus coming? And what's going to happen? We're already contemplating moving back to Florida, moving back to the U.S. to make more money, to be not in a high rise, to be in a house, to have a backup generator, to have the supplies we need, propane stove ready to cook if we need to for a few days, a week without any power. That's how we're thinking. We're not preppers, but we're thinking about being prepared and taking care of our family. That's the most important thing. Not war, not killing, not genocide, not all the horrible stuff that people are talking about in the world today. We need to stop and pause and start taking care of each other. We're all connected. And you go through something like this today and you see just how fragile we are and how connected we all are and how dependent we all are on each other. It could have been a lot worse. We could have had no power today, a few days, a week, a couple of weeks, no food coming into the city. It could be a lot worse. So we're very grateful. We feel very blessed. Thank God we're all fine. We're all okay. So Take a look at your life. Take a look at what are your priorities. Stop. You know, at the end of the day, we have to stop fighting each other. There's powers out there that have a lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of control. They're controlling our lives, that are hurting us and turning us against each other, whether it's by race or gender or sexual preference or whatever it is. Stop fighting each other. You're all human beings. We're all connected. We're all part of the same soul. Stop fighting each other. Stop shooting each other on the freeways. Stop fighting over parking spaces. Start cooperating. Start loving each other. Start helping each other. That's all I can tell you. This is Crazy Horse. Thanks for